Hi, I'm Bruce Buls for National Fisherman here at Pacific Marine Expo 2014. Today we had a keynote speaker that drew a good large crowd to hear him. This is John Aldridge. I'm standing with here. He was our keynote speaker this morning. John was talking about his incident in July of 2013 when he fell overboard on his offshore lobster boat out of Montauk, New York. Was in the water until the next, well, you went in, tell me briefly how the deal was.
I was pulling on a cooler on the back deck, and the handle had broke.
On it, so when the handle broke, you just
I went flying out the back of the boat because we have an open transom, and 3 o'clock in the morning, you know. And
everyone's nightmare of watching the lights recede from the boat, which is still on autopilot, and you are screaming?
Yeah, screaming for them, knowing that no one's awake, though. You know, so it was all in vain, but it was just, you know.
So one of the elements of your survival, one of the key elements was your boots, was your pair of boots, right?
That was the that was it. That was everything. Without the boots, there was no way I was going to be able to tread water for that amount of time in 71-degree water with the 5-foot swell. There's no way. I mean, after 10 minutes, you know, thrashing around trying to stay afloat, I realized that the boots were really buoyant, and I ended up grabbing them and turning them upside down and filling them with air and making a pocket of air inside them and putting them under the water and under my arms. And I was like this far out of the water by then.
And you managed to hang on to those boots for 12, 14, 13 hours, right? Yeah. The whole time. Also, there was a fair amount of your own brain power at work here too, because you found a string of gear from another fisherman and kind of grabbed that, or had to kind of.
I kind of knew where I was. I knew in the area where I fell off, so I knew you know I was in the vicinity of other gear, so I just had to find that and trying to swim with the boots under my arm for hours and hours. You know, my arms were all chafed up and everything, but. You know, I finally was able to get to that buoy and hold on, and then realized that I was in the wrong spot and I had to get out of there. So I had to go to another buoy.
Right, but you knew where that buoy was going to be, right? And so you sort of propelled yourself in that direction, and you were right, and you found what you were looking for, and that provided additional flotation as an additional visibility, right?
Yes. And if it was anybody else, I'm sure, you know, who's not aware of the situation and all, you know. You wouldn't know enough to do that, you know. So I guess being knowledgeable of where you are and where you fish and what your capabilities are is what basically helped me and saved me, you know.
And I also was struck by your testimony to the power of positive thinking and your own internal emotions when you started giving way to despair. Talk about that.
Yeah, so the whole time, you know, you're in that mode of, you know, oh my God, I'm going to die. Today's the day I'm going to die. I can't believe today I'm going to die. And I had to just turn that around. I felt it just literally deteriorating myself, thinking that way. And once I started thinking positively, it was like a breath of fresh air. It was like so uplifting, and you could, you know, just feel it empowering you, you know. And the negativity, you could just feel it bringing you down and making it okay to die, you know, and give up. And you know, so I just kept thinking positive, and it really made a difference.
So what have you done differently now? You've learned a few lessons, presumably, about safety at sea, survival at sea. What can you share with our viewers about that?
One thing, we put a tailgate on the back of the boat, transom that goes up and down, so that we don't have an open stern anymore. Only when we're fishing, you know, we put it down. So. And there's always people on the deck at that time, so you're not alone. You know, require everybody on the boat now to wear personal EPIRB and you know, try to get them to wear life jackets is easier said than done sometimes. But you know, in this colder weather, we start wearing them more now in the colder weather.
Or do people have like inflatable suspenders or something on there? Yeah.
Yeah, those the thin life jackets, the Mustang ones we have. You know.
And everybody on your boat wearing the Dunlap boots then?
Not yet, but we're gonna get them into that. You know, trying to get them together. But I got a lot of people in my harbor had bought them. You know, and a couple of my friends who aren't fishermen bought them too, just because they, you know, they like the boot and the quality of it and everything. So.
And somebody at your presentation day talked about having a trailing line as well, and you're doing that too?
Yeah. It's, you know, after falling off, you realize, you know, if I had just a piece of rope, and you know, like I remember sailboaters, they do that, and so now we trail a little bit of a line out the back of the boat. You know, got to remember to bring it in when we stop, but yeah, that's what we do too. Just an extra precaution because you never know. You know, you never know in the middle of the night. You know, it's there for you.
Of all of the things that crossed your mind when you're out there that night, probably one that didn't was about being here at Pacific Marine Expo talking about this, right?
No, definitely not. I mean, since my incident, my world's been turned upside down with speaking things and speaking at schools and different events, and it's just it's nice to give back, you know.
Well, it's inspirational, so we appreciate your coming here and sharing your story with us here in Seattle. Thanks a lot, John. Congratulations, and glad you're still alive.
Thank you for being here.